Recording in progress.
Hi.
So, Peter, are we live?
Yes, we are.
Good evening. Welcome to the December 6th,
Recording in
December 18th,
progress.
2024 meeting of the Town of Southampton Conservation Board. In accordance with the Town Board's adoption of Local Law Number 14 of 2022, the Board's meetings are being held both in person at Town Hall and via video conference through Zoom webinar. The link to participate in this meeting via video conference can be found on the Town's website at the Town Clerk's Agendas and Meetings portal. You can also watch the live stream video and submit written comments for the public record through the Town website. If you are attending via Zoom and wish to speak during this meeting, then please click the raise hand icon. As a reminder to all applicants, agents, and members of the public who wish to speak at the meeting, please state your name and hamlet of residence for the record. Thank you. All right, everyone to rise for the salute to the flag. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's see, November 20th. We can do it. We have 4.
Do you have the right one?
Yeah. George, Sunshine, Jerry, and me. What is your pleasure on the minutes of November 20th, 2024?
Motion to accept?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I abstain. I wasn't there.
Yeah, I abstained from the 4th, but not the 20th.
1, 2. We will wait on the 4th. If Tom comes in, we can do the 4th. Public hearings, A021076, Nicholas Christopher and Penelope Christopher. And this is being adjourned to February 26, 2025. Is there anyone on Zoom that wishes to speak on this application? There's nobody in the audience right now. Is there a motion?
Motion to adjourn to February 26, 2025.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? A021084, Judy P. Gallagher. This has been withdrawn. There's no action to be taken now. A021085, SCI Katarpa. This application has been withdrawn, and no action needs to be taken on that. A022054, Paul Basic and Lisa Gallo. This is adjourned to January 22nd, 2025. Is there anyone on the Zoom that would like to speak on this application?
Motion to adjourn to January 22nd, 2025.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Advisory reports for the Planning Board. 32 South Phillips Avenue subdivision.
Good evening, Marty Shea, Chief Environmental Analyst for the Planning Board advisory referral for a residential subdivision that's in its final phase for a tract located at 32 South Phillips Avenue in the hamlet of Remsenburg, Spion. There are several recommended comments. The first indicates that the tract supports extensive successional cedar woodlands and is located within 3 miles of a documented summer occurrence of federal and state endangered northern long-eared bat. Accordingly, the landowner needs to contact the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation, their Division of Fish and Wildlife, in order to ensure that the planned forest clearing activities are protective of the northern long-eared bat and will not result in an incidental take pursuant to New York State Environmental Conservation Law, Part 182. Second, the forest, which abuts a naturalized drainage area for the commercial buildings to the north, is vital as habitat for native flora and fauna, and as a wildlife movement corridor. It is also important for thermal cooling, carbon sequestration, and for maintaining ground and surface water quality, as the tract lies within the Suffolk County designated Seatuck Cove and Mauritius Bay East watersheds. Thirdly, in order to prevent water quality degradation and to protect the environment, site disturbance and clearing needs to be restricted to 50% of the lot area on proposed lots 2, 3, and 4.
Motion to send those comments to the planning board.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 17 Allenson Lane.
This is a pending site plan application for the planning board for a property that is zoned resort waterfront business. The property is characterized by an existing single-family residence. The landowner is seeking to create a large dry dock boat storage area on the upland portions of the property. There are several recommended comments. The first is that notwithstanding the prior history of unauthorized mowing, a December 13, 2024 site reassessment has revealed that such practices have been discontinued and the wetlands are recovering well. Second, the existing residential parking area south of the gravel drive should be removed and are relocated to the north side of the drive so that the impacts of the proposed dry boat storage can be mitigated by establishment of a covenanted restored 75-foot wide wetland non-disturbance non-fertilization buffer to the maximum extent practicable seaward of the planned boatyard and south of the residence. Thirdly, a native revegetation plan needs to be provided for reclamation of the required buffer. And lastly, in recognition of the house having been built around 1900, as well as the site's vulnerability to flooding, sufficient land area needs to be set aside for future residential redevelopment and construction of a new home outside of the flood zone as much as is practicable and at a conforming wetland building setback of 100 feet.
Motion to send those comments to the planning board.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? A&E Club Properties.
Say pending expedited site plan application for the Bridgehampton Tennis and Surf Club at Mid-Ocean Drive in the hamlet of Bridgehampton. There are several recommended comments. The first is that the runoff of the potentially hazardous green clay tennis court surface materials together with the associated maintenance chemicals towards wetlands and Sam's Creek need to be rectified by cleanup and installation of trench drains or other subsurface drainage at the downslope edge of the courts, landward of the existing wetlands and natural vegetation. Second, there is discarded landscape debris within parts of the required naturally vegetated wetland non-disturbance non-fertilization buffer that needs to be removed. Thirdly, the entirety of the wetlands, as recently flagged by the Environment Division on February 3rd, 2023, need to be identified on the survey as a wetland preservation area with an amended descriptive covenant drafted for review and approval, identifying both the wetlands and the needed modified naturally vegetated wetland non-disturbance non-fertilization buffer, then recorded with the Suffolk County Clerk prior to commencement of construction. Fourth, there is an apparent unauthorized vehicular access road / service driveway cut from the abutting westerly Town Beach parking lot that needs to be closed off and revegetated unless permitted to remain by the Town Parks and Recreation Department. And lastly, a planning board wetland permit is required for the planned Bedell Court construction and fence installation.
Motion to send those comments to the planning board.
Second.
All in favor? Opposed? For the ZBA, Andrew E. Fitter.
Say, pending variance application for a residentially zoned property at Noack Avenue in Noack. There are two recommended comments. First is that the planned construction activities for which an area variance and pyramid relief is being sought have already been authorized by the Conservation Board pursuant to wetland permit number CB 24049, which was issued on August 7, 2024. And second, the survey is prepared by John F. Borowski, dated September 27, 2021, with the latest revision date of June 11, 2024, which was filed with the pending variance application, has been approved by the Conservation Board.
Motion to send those comments to the ZBA.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Scott Levinson.
The Scott Levinson variance application relates to residentially developed property on Hildreth Road in the Hamilton Bays. There are two recommended comments. First is that, as indicated by the applicant, the proposed construction activities for which variance are being sought have already been authorized by the Conservation Board pursuant to wetland permit number CB 24007, issued on January 19, 2024. And second, the survey is prepared by Charles Secapico, dated April 2nd, 2021, with a latest revision date of September 11, 2023, which was filed with the pending variance application, was approved by the Conservation Board.
Motion to send those comments to the ZBA.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Wayne R. and Sharon Strong.
This is a pending variance application for property at Pine Neck Avenue in Noack. There are two recommended advisory comments. The first is, as indicated by the applicant, proposed construction activities for which pyramid relief is being sought did receive a letter of non-jurisdiction pursuant to Chapter 325 of the Town Code on May 14, 2024. And second, the survey is prepared by Robert A. Smith, dated April 13, 2022, last revised July 3rd, 2024, which was filed with the pending variance application, is consistent with the survey prepared by Robert A. Smith, with a final revision date on April 2nd, 2024, which was referenced by the letter of non-jurisdiction.
Motion to send those comments to the ZBA.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? ML Bridge LLC.
Say pending variance application for residentially developed acre property on Dune Road in Bridgehampton. There are two recommended comments. The first is that the proposed construction activities for which variances are being sought have already been authorized by the Conservation Board pursuant to wetland permit number CB 24029, which was issued on April 15, 2024. And second, the survey is prepared by David L. Saskis, dated February 22nd, 2011, last revised February 21, 2024, which was filed with the pending variance application, has already been approved by the Conservation Board.
Motion to send those comments to the ZBA.
Second.
All in favor? Opposed? Brian Neidiger.
This pending variance application relates to a property on 19 Oakhurst Road in Hampton Bays. There are two recommended advisory comments. First is that the proposed residential redevelopment activities for which variance is being sought are located greater than 50 feet landward of the surface waters, where at least 100 linear feet of functional shorefront bulkhead exists. Therefore, a town wetland permit is not required. Second, the project plans are consistent with the guidance and design parameters provided by the Environment Division pursuant to an October 31, 2023 letter of wetland non-jurisdiction, thereby negating the need for a wetland permit.
Motion to send those comments to the zoning board of appeals.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ocean View X.
This pending variance application relates to property at Ocean View Drive in the hamlet of Shinnecock Hills. There are several recommended comments. The first is that any granting of the requested variances for redevelopment of the property needs to be conditioned upon removal of the existing retaining wall supported level artificial turf on the seaward side of both the existing seaside deck and the proposed residential porch, followed by natural grade reclamation and native revegetation within 50 feet landward of the high water line. Second, based upon a December 17, 2024 field assessment, there is an illicit discharge pipe jutting out seaward through the vinyl and timber bulkhead that needs to be removed in its entirety and remediated by installation of sufficient subsurface drainage around the immediate periphery of the new residence and swimming pool in order to negate the need for an overflow outlet. And lastly, an administrative wetland permit needs to be obtained. That should be in order to authorize the requisite bluff reclamation, construction of the landing and ramp, and integration of any drainage structures within 50 feet of wetlands and high water.
Motion to send those comments to the ZBA.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Secret lead agency coordination.
This is a seeker lead agency coordination request that was forwarded by the Suffolk County Water Authority to the Conservation Board. As the Water Authority identified the Conservation Board as involved agency for this project. The proposed action is a water main extension that would be routed from the Riverside, Flanders area up to Northville, and also from East Marion to Orient on the North Fork. So the letter was sent in order to see whether or not the Conservation Board wanted to assume lead agency status for the purposes of the required state environmental review of this application, as the scope of the project far exceeds the authority of this board, and the activities eligible for an administrative wetland permit. The letter indicates first again that a town administrative wetland permit is needed in order to proceed, but then goes on to say that notwithstanding the above, this letter also serves to confirm that the Conservation Board has no objection to the Suffolk County Water Authority assuming lead agency status for the proposed action. Just so this board knows, there is some history as far as the Suffolk County Water Authority making application and receiving administrative wetland permits from me for the routing of water lines as the Suffolk County Water Authority ensures that the lines run either within road, disturbed road shoulders or within paved area. Typically, there is no risk of adverse wetland impacts. Where there are bridge crossings over the Peconic River, the water main is attached below the bridge structure. So that poses no issue of adverse wetland impact either. So if the board has no objection to the Suffolk County Water Authority assuming seeker lead agency status for this application, this is a letter which can be signed and sent back to the Water Authority.
Is there a motion to send, oh, go ahead.
Motion to confirm that the Conservation Board has no objection to the Suffolk County Water Authority assuming lead agency status for the, for the proposed action, which is a water main going from Riverside to Flanders to Northville and to East Marion to Orient.
And that the letter that was described is sent to Suffolk County Water Authority.
And just what Harry said.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Administrative wetland permits are in your packets. Resolution of conditional approval, Mark Smith and Heather Cole, no discussion.
Invitation.
Second.
Resolved that a conditional wetland permit approval granted to Mark Smith and Heather Cole, Colilla 23 LLC for the proposed project on the terms and conditions set forth therein. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And A02409, George Vickers and Deborah Vickers. This is,
This is a quick update on this application. I did hear from Mr. Vickers late tonight. He emailed me. The surveyors are returning to his property tomorrow so that he can follow the requisite survey. And he also emailed a buffer revegetation plan and shared history regarding his property and the abutting property as well. I responded that upon receipt of the revised survey, I'll provide feedback with regards to submittals in the interest of bringing the application back to the board.
is there a motion to postpone to January 8th, 2021?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Preliminary review signature donation A023063 West Invest LLC.
It's a pending application for a residentially developed property that fronts on the alewife drain, otherwise known as North Sea Creek, in the hamlet of North Sea. There is a preliminary advisory report on file dated December 12, 2024. This application was initially made in order to gain the approval of activities which the board had previously authorized by a since expired wetland permit and expired modified wetland permit when the property was under a different ownership. Upon review of the site conditions and history of the property, notwithstanding that the prior landowner elected not to proceed with some of the work that the board had authorized, additional improvements were made at the property inclusive construction of a reconfigured swimming pool, reconfigured pool patio, reconstruction of decks and other activities which were not consistent with the prior conservation board approval. When the board had previously acted on an application for this property, it had required that the wetland impacts be mitigated by establishment of a covenanted wetland non-disturbance fertilization buffer that not only ran along the bulkhead and waterfront, but also along the southerly lot line, which was not bulkheaded and which abuts town preserved wetlands to the south. In the midst of waiting for revised surveys and revegetation plans, the landowner had received a permit from the trustees to construct a new bulkhead at the property and more extensive returns. That bulkhead reconstruction resulted in a loss of significant wetland vegetation and recovering shoreline, siltation of the creek, and sedimentation of the abutting town preserve wetlands. As this board has no authority with regards to the bulkhead construction, I nonetheless indicated in my advisory reports that the impacts of that bulkhead construction on the alewife drain, which is a designated significant fish and wildlife habitat, and on the abutting wetlands, as well as the effects of the additional improvements that were made without requisite wetland covers at the property needed to be offset by establishment of a larger naturally vegetated wetland non-disturbance, non-fertilization buffer. I provided a sketch to the applicant. I also asked that they come forward with a restoration plan that, in addition to native revegetation, will result in the removal of the silts and sediments in the adjacent town preserve wetlands. The applicant is amenable to all of the recommended remedial measures and mitigation, and will come forward with a revised survey, revised reclamation plan, and draft covenant describing the recommended expanded buffer. There are other issues that need to be addressed. They have non-compliant fences, 6 feet in height along North Sea Road, and there are some other activities that need to be addressed as well. That being said, the applicant is amenable to all the recommendations, and we do have sufficient information to make a determination. Accordingly, I'm recommending that the public hearing requirement be waived.
Motion to waive the public hearing?
Resolved that the Town Conservation Board hereby waives the public hearing requirement pursuant to Chapter 325, Section 325-80 of the Town Code. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? A024053 Lynn Lee. Leahy.
This is a plan for residential redevelopment at a bulkheaded property in Shinnecock Shores. There is a preliminary advisory report on file dated December 4, 2024. The planned improvements in the property not only include the building of a new dwelling, but also construction of various decks, a new swimming pool, various utilities and drainage as well. Consistent with this board's recommendations for mitigation of wetland impacts in Shinnecock Shores, all of the primary structures and pool and associated deck and patio areas would be located at least 40 feet inland of the bulkhead. And I have asked that a 15-foot wide carbonated naturally vegetated wetland non-disturbance non-fertilization buffer be established landward of the canal. Notwithstanding the condition on the trustee's permit that a 10-foot wide non-fertilization buffer be established. So the buffer that I'm asking for would take in the area required by the trustees is a non-fertilization buffer, which is 10 feet. It would require that be naturally vegetated as well as the additional 5 feet. So the entirety of the required covenanted naturally vegetated buffer would be 15 feet. The applicant is amenable to the recommended mitigative measures, and we do have sufficient information to make a determination accordingly, recommending that the hearing requirement be waived.
Motion to waive the public hearing.
Second?
Resolved that the Town Conservation Board hereby waives the public hearing requirement pursuant to chapter 325, section 325-80 of the Town Code. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. And being the last meeting of the year, I want to thank you all for your service. I appreciate all the work you've done.
We got one more.
We do?
January 18th. I mean, December 18th, don't we?
This is December 18th today.
Oh, this is the 18th, right.
I was like, oh.
I'm about 2 weeks behind.
George, if you want to come here next Wednesday,
Oh, yeah.
you gotta be all over.
You'll need a key.
Santa Claus will be there. That's about it.
And the reappointments,
Me,
you,
Reappointment?
and Zeb, reappointment for next year.
get your letters in.